Hello, my loves, and welcome to this week's reading for Cancer for the week of April 3rd, 2023. I would recommend watching these for your rising and sun sign since they are general readings. That way you can take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And as always, if you enjoy my readings, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, or share these. It is definitely helpful for me to grow my channel. We do also have a full moon in Libra this week, so a lot of us will have our relationship sector highlighted and finding balance within our relationships. This kind of looks different for every sign, and I do touch base on that in your weekly reading, whether it's about your relationship with yourself, others, the world around you. There's a lot of different dynamics there for sure. Otherwise, let's just get right into it for Gemini or Cancer. Let's see what Spirit has for Cancer this week ahead. What guidance and messages our Cancer may need for the coming week. All right, baby Cancer. Let's do one more shuffle. All right, Cancer. What does our Cancer need? All right, we have 4 authority. All right, I see you having to really lay down the law with someone, Cancer. Maybe you're having to speak up on something you haven't in the past, or something that's been like ruminating within you. There's been something that's bothered you, and it's kind of just like building and building and building. And I don't want to say you were fully ignoring it before. I think you were just like, is this something that's worthy of my energy? Or you had other things going on, so it's kind of been on the back burner, I'm hearing. And now you're getting to this point where it's going to be highlighted for you this week, and you do have the reserves to kind of deal with it. You do feel that you finally need to speak up about it. So be realistic with yourself. Like, what is holding in how you feel really doing for yourself? Is it helping you? Is it helping the situation change? How much more are you really going to tolerate if you don't speak up about it, Cancer? So I feel like you really don't want to confront this, but you're kind of just getting pissed off about it. So you will get to this point where it's more uncomfortable to not say something, Cancer. I want to see what else is coming up with this. 6, victory and success. So I do feel like this dynamic and you really showing your true colors and how you feel is only going to make you feel more empowered and strong. So like I said, if this has been something you've been ignoring and putting on the back burner, you're almost going to get this sense of like, wow, I could have totally said this sooner. It wasn't really as intense as I thought. It's really just like, I'm seeing sticking up for yourself this week. I keep hearing over and over again. So if you have been dealing with less than, normalizing less than, not wanting to put your foot down, that has to end for you this week. Like, you're just going to be pushed to it anyways. So I'm not going to really put a lot of emphasis on that. But then we have 4, discontent and boredom. I am seeing this having to do with like your romantic relationships. So if you are coupled up right now, just feeling a bit of stagnancy in those relationships, waiting for changes, waiting for just like energy, like passion. I feel that there's not a lot going on here, and you're kind of just wanting to move on and move away from it. There is no right or wrong choice with that. It's really, Spirit is like, this has to do with your free will. So if you're really going back and forth between the decision and you can't decide, that's because Spirit doesn't want to decide for you, right? Like, we do have a path for sure in this lifetime, and at the same time we have free will. That's part of the human experience. So, you know, you have to exercise that free will and intuition, I'm hearing, and not just like completely lean on Spirit to get the things that you want or the answers that you want. Okay, you have to test that free will and empowering. This week is all about like empowering you, taking charge, saying what you want to say, and not worrying about doing everything right, I'm hearing. So not worrying about like, oh, I want to be the bigger person all the time, or I want to do this the right way. You got to get a little messier, Cancer. Like, you got to just allow yourself to do things quicker. So if you're really feeling something or wanting to say something, to do it, to just do it. You're human. You're so worried about how it looks, how it's perceived all the time. Am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And then nothing's going on because you're just waiting a lot. I may have 1 base chakra. So I do see this going back, right? Why am I not showing up? Why am I not saying? Why am I not acting on certain things? This goes way back for me. This is like a childhood perceived, why can't I not think of the right word? This is something that kind of started for you, this mindset in childhood, okay? So maybe you couldn't stand up for yourself. I'm seeing a male figure dominating. So maybe your father figure or caregiver was extreme, like his energy kind of took all the space in the room, so to speak. So some of us, this could be like this figure was very loud and intense and just didn't leave much space for anyone else's energy. And then there's like this other side of the coin where this figure was not necessarily loud and vocalizing a ton, but their problems were very intense. So this male figure had a lot of issues that required the family in the dynamic you had growing up to give their energy to this person, if that makes sense. So there wasn't a lot of space for you necessarily, or it was like second in rank, right? Because these other issues were, I hate to say more important, but kind of like they were more intense, and that just required or like had you internalize a lot of things, Cancer. So really be mindful of that, like what father figure or male figure, you can see that the energy of this dynamic with this person in your family unit pulled yours away, right? So again, I want to emphasize it's not necessarily that their needs were more important, but it's almost like their perspective and what they thought was important took control over how you showed up, okay? So they could be saying like, this was the priority, this is what needed to be done, and really you're sitting here thinking that's bullshit, right? That wasn't the right way to do things. So I really am seeing that's why you're so focused on doing things the right way, because you don't feel like things went the right way for you growing up. So now you are really over focused on that, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but just wounding. Get really mindful of your wounding this week. Get really, really mindful of the story. Get really, really mindful of your core wound, because when we don't know what that is, it tends to just freaking highlight in everything we do, right? Every choice we make is behind that feeling usually. So I'm telling you right now, I write down my core wound, and then when I'm going to make a decision or I'm stuck on something or I'm upset about something, I'll be like, is this, because of like currently how I'm feeling and wanting to deal with it because of this current timeline and this current version of myself? Or is this like an old version of myself coming up and wanting to be seen and heard that maybe I'm not giving space to, okay? So last card, since that was a mouthful, 9, Fulfillment of Wishes. Beautiful card, one of the best cards in the deck in my opinion. This is getting all the things that you wanted. 9 is also a number of completion and endings, Cancer. So this is a great week to, like I said, really look into that core wound and begin to navigate it, because you can be making some amazing freaking changes. Like Spirit is basically saying you can have the life that you want. You can have all the things that you want. So please don't hold yourself back. Please don't get stuck on this story, right? It's valid. These things happen and they make such an impact in who we are, and it's painful and it's upsetting. And at the same time, do you want to carry that the rest of your life? Is there steps that you can take to move away from it, to free yourself? It's like, I feel like we punish ourselves almost for the things that have happened to us that somebody else did. Why would you continue to punish yourself? Like, you deserve better than that. You really do. So I hope that was helpful for this week, Cancer, and kind of a mouthful there, a lot to process. I wish you the best navigating everything coming up for you this week ahead. And as always, if you like what I do, be sure to like, share, comment, or subscribe. And I will see you next week. Take care.